can't find it. It doesn't seem to be on any of these stations.
Keep looking.
Oh, you're going too slow. Let me take the wheel.
It's too fast. How could you even tell what's on?
I can tell.
There it is. Go back.
Back.
Too late. I'm in the 40s. Gotta go around the horn. It's faster.
Wait.
Stop. That's it. Now, Edge.
It's starting.
Has your child fallen victim to cyberbullying thanks to a lily pad? Well, if so, you should let him watch the Beyond the Film podcast instead. Ryan, back again to talk about Toy Story. I am your host, Tyler. I already said your name, but do you want to introduce yourself anyway?
Sure, my name's Ryan. If you
Okay.
didn't know already from Tyler saying my name.
Or the 60-some episodes we've done so far. Yeah, so we are here to talk about the, can you call it long-awaited? Like, was anyone really, like dying to have Toy Story 5?
My son was, yes.
Well, yeah, okay, so, sure, in your son's eyes, the long-awaited sequel to a sequel that maybe shouldn't have even happened in the first place, according to some fans, but is Toy Story 5 a film that tries to tackle the ever-growing worry of parents everywhere, technology's influence on your child? Is this movie worth your time and money during this summer movie season? Ryan, what say you?
Oh, you want me to go first? Can I give my opinion right away? Like, immediately?
Sure.
We don't want to ease into it or anything, right? I can just say how I feel?
Nope, yep, let's just, I don't know, yeah. I mean, it's
as
it's
a
gonna
parent,
be one of the, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, you finish what you're saying.
Oh, no,
this is
like,
big.
it's gonna be one of the biggest movies of the summer. I think most people watching this have an idea of what to expect with Toy Story. Yeah, I mean, if you want to start with, like, how you feel about the franchise, that's fine, but I think we're both fairly in the same boat with this franchise, so.
No, I don't actually think we are. So I'm
Oh.
going to be 100% honest. And this is not something that I say to a lot of people because I get a lot of dirty looks from. Toy Story, as a kid, scared me really bad. I was very afraid of Toy Story as a kid. And it was exasperated by my mom and my sister hiding little green army men around my room. So like I have a bit of trauma until my son came along, and my son loves Toy Story. So when my son came along, I watched 3 and 4, which I had never seen before. I had only seen Toy Story 1 and 2. Correct. Okay. Until my son was born, I had not watched 3 and 4.
Fascinating.
And I'm gonna be 100% honest. 5, I think 5 might be one of the most important movies Disney's made in a really long time. Theme-wise. Thematically, I think it's an extremely important story to tell and to get in the eyes of children and parents alike with technology on how, yes, it can be extremely and incredibly harmful. It can be destructive. It can be awful. But there is actually a good side to technology. And I think that is one of the first movies to ever really tell this story of just the telling point of what is too much and what is not enough, and like, oh god, I could go on for hours on how I feel about this as somebody that works in IT and technology. I think this was really important, but I'd like to see your opinion as a teacher.
Yeah, so I have a pretty much opposite view of you on Toy Story when you were a kid. Didn't want to freak you out right away. Toy Story, the first film, is the first movie I ever remember seeing. It's a very important movie for me. I watched it a lot growing up. I recently just rewatched all 4 Toy Stories before I went and saw Toy Story 5. And I gotta say, if you put on Toy Story 1 and then you put on Toy Story 5, the animation differences are absolutely alarming. Look, I think that early Pixar Really? I think that early Pixar animation is dated at best. That's probably the nicest thing I could say about it. It looks rough by today's standards. Now, is it still cool and kind of a product of its time for 1995? Sure. But there's a reason why I think Toy Story 2 is the best film in this franchise. Um, yeah, so, you know, I love this franchise. I think it's something that has delivered excellent voice performances throughout, has delivered on emotional depth for both children and adults, and is something that, with both me and you being children of the early 90s, we have literally grown up with this franchise. And now you are at a point where you are now taking your own child to this franchise where they enjoy it just as much as at least I did when I was a kid. So is Toy Story 5 um uh, is Toy Story 5 as good and as worthy of being made as something like that original trilogy? I think one of the biggest problems with Toy Story 4 is that it had a very hard time justifying its own existence. That first three films worked so well as a trilogy. We could call them like the Andy trilogy now, because it seems like Bonnie, the main character of 4 and 5, is going to get her own trilogy, because I think we're getting a new movie. But like, how are these toys going to live past Andy? I was a little concerned with 4 because I don't think it had like that really strong narrative depth, and ultimately with it being more of a Woody movie, a lot of the other toys kind of fall in the background. Now, I will say that is something that the 5th film does deal with, right? This number 5 is still very much a Jesse movie this time around. So it seems like the Toy Story franchise is much more focused on going into character studies of well-established characters, instead of being like a gang hangout sesh like the first 3 kind of were. So what do I feel about Toy Story 5? I think it's great. I think it's a massive step up from 4. I think that what you said about technology not necessarily just being the obvious villain when they absolutely could have went that way is fascinating to me. Like, they said that yes, technology has the capacity to be bad, but it also could be this vital tool that kids can use to do those old school things like making friends and connecting with other people. And the film isn't afraid to shy away from that. And I think that's what makes the film really nuanced thematically. But I mean, we're also just getting really, really strong voice work and animation work here. I absolutely loved when the toys are being played with and it switches to that like 2D hand-drawn animation style. I think that stuff is great. Like, you get these new risks that the franchise is taking 5 films in. And yeah, I mean, maybe I was one of those people who were like, I think that the film should have stopped at 3. Why are we getting 4? Why are we getting 5? But now with 5 coming out and being this good, I'm like, you know what? Turn this into the Friday the 13th franchise. Give us 12 of these films. I don't care. If they're going to keep making good stuff like this, I'm more than willing to go along with the ride.
Yeah, and I agree with you. A couple things that I want to step in and say, like, I agree. I understand what you mean about the first film, but I also want it to be said out loud for those that don't know. Toy Story 1 is the first ever 3D animated full-length feature film. Like that, it is the pioneer of that entire genre. It is the pioneer of any form of that 3D animation. It came from Toy Story. That's not just a Disney thing. That's like anywhere.
And you can tell.
You can, yes. But like, you got to realize that was a big deal. 3D animation is very cheap to do nowadays. It's a lot cheaper than 2D animation. But back in the day, that pioneer work, they put a lot of money into that movie.
Yep.
It could look worse, is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, I'm not saying it's
no, it is dated. You are 100% right. It looks rough. I mean, if you look at the dog, I'm gonna put a picture of the dog on the screen. Sid's dog is rough to look at.
I'm truly saying dated in the nicest way possible.
I am too.
Like,
I
there's
agree
a charm to that, like, kind of like uncanny valley animation style, for sure.
Yes. If you look at Woody's face some of the times, you get some of the great memes of yesteryear from that movie. But the other thing that I really want to touch on that Toy Story 5 does specifically is it really resonates the story of how hard it is for modern day children to make friends in a world that is struggling with technology beyond what we had. We as millennials, Tyler, we were the generation that was um, okay. So we went from not having technology to having technology.
Yeah.
How do we learn to move forward?
Mhm.
This generation is now in a phase of I was born with technology and I don't know any other way. And that's why I feel, as somebody with kids, it's a lot harder for children to go out and meet other people when you have about 2 or 3 friends that you play games online with, like we see in the movie.
Yeah, we
Um,
still we
no,
still
no, yeah.
had a childhood where we were kind of free from technology. I mean, we had some stuff, but then it was introduced to us in like our preteen to teen years. Yeah, so like these kids coming up are dealing with something that no generation before, other than maybe like I guess we're on Gen Alpha now, right? Like Gen Z is over, I
Mhm.
think.
I think
So
so,
like
yeah.
so like Gen Z and Gen Alpha or whatever they're called, the new generation, have a whole different childhood than we did. No more than 30 years ago.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
What are you? Are you like some sort of old man toy?
What? She thinks you're old because you're bald.
Ryan.
Who's this old man?
I think that just means you're old. Yikes! Wow, really old.
Sorry, continue.
No, I think it's crazy for me to say this because like I'm a newer fan to Toy Story. My kid really pushed them on me, and I was like, okay, yeah, these are actually pretty good. I like them. Each Disney and Pixar specifically has never, when they do Toy Story, I feel that they do quality over quantity for Toy Story. They could easily push out 40 Toy Stories. And while I understand your discrepancies with 4 and how you don't like 4 as much, and I agree, there are a lot of weak parts to that film. As Disney movie goes, I still think 4 is a really solid movie.
Yeah. No. I mean, 4 is the weakest of that franchise, but when the franchise is consistently delivering 4.5 to 5-star movies, like,
Yes.
getting a 3.5-star movie is not the worst thing in the world. Like,
no, and I think that it's Pixar's baby, and they're never going to do anything bad with it. And it's one thing that I know is like constantly going to deliver good storytelling. And I just don't really know what else to say, but that I'm just kind of blown away with it. I'm blown away with how the quality of the movie. I'm blown away with how good it looks, animation wise. I'm blown away with the storytelling that they chose to take a risk on telling, which was a very strong risk. But I'm also blown away with how much adult humor they actually did hide in the movie.
yeah. And I mean, if you want to say anything, Pixar needed this movie. Like,
Yes.
say what you will about Pixar, like they're still delivering good quality stories, but when's their last big hit? Well, I guess Inside Out 2, but like I didn't think Inside Out 2 was that good. You had Elio come out that was a major bomb in more ways than one. Hoppers, I don't think lived up to the potential that they wanted out of a potential new franchise. Lightyear didn't do well. Elemental wasn't a huge hit. Like, you have to kind of go back to, the Toy Story 4, Incredibles 2, like pre 2020, to look for a time where Pixar was kind of just clicking on all cylinders. So I think that, digging back into the franchise that has consistently done well for them the whole time through was a smart move. And yeah, I mean, once again, they have delivered. Like, and it's so hard to really pinpoint why these movies work so much. Like, there's the writing, there's the animation, and you really just have to shout out the voice work. Like, Tom Hanks and Tim Allen have been carrying this franchise for decades. Like, if anything, like every time I hear Tom Hanks's voice, I think Woody more than just about anything else. Same with Tim Allen. Like, say what you will about Tim Allen, the person, right? His political views and other things have gotten him in some hot water in Hollywood as of late. But like, if he's still game to like do this role and just keep doing stuff like this, like, I mean, it's the voice work here, man. Even the loss of some of these classic characters, right? We lost Jim Varney in 2000, who did Slinky Dog, and they've kind of I think smartly like not made a Slinky Dog movie, right? Like you could still have the character, but maybe just like have him off in the background a little bit. Same with Don Rickles and I forgot the woman who voiced Mrs. Potato Head.
Estelle Harris.
Estelle Harris, thank you. Yeah, yeah, so like you know, you could still bring these characters here, but you know, still respect the legacy by just kind of keeping them off to the side, right? And I mean, that's definitely what 4 and 5 have done. As I mentioned before, 4 and 5 are much more character studies than anything else. And I think Joan Cusack is easily doing her best work in this franchise since the second film. You know, we haven't done a whole lot talking about the movie itself. What do you think of the new additions to the movie? So we have Bonnie's friend. Oh God, I forgot her name. She had a very interesting name. Blaze, yes. Glaze. Blaze. Yeah, Blaze. What do you think of Blaze as a character? What do you think of the Wi-Fi enabled Buzz Lightyear drones? Like
Yeah, I think a lot of the additions of characters are really fun. I actually think one of my favorite additions is Smarty Pants, Conan
Yes.
O'Brien. I think that he's
Yes.
a hilarious character. I think he gives some great adult humor throughout the
I
movie.
agree.
I'm trying to think with him we had two other characters, and I know the hippo was somebody I know, and I can't remember his name now.
Yeah.
Who it was, but it
No, but if I do have one complaint about the movie, it's about those buzzes. Like, I think starting the movie with that and then basically abandoning it and coming back to them just randomly throughout and not really explaining their significance to the plot until we're already in the third act kind of bothered me. And then they basically just serve as Deus Ex Machina for the characters. You know that idea, right?
I mean, explain
So
it.
Deus Ex Machina, I think, is just a old Latin term that refers to like by the grace of God or something, where this thing happens in a movie randomly to get these people to their next step. Think of like the Eagles in Lord of the Rings, right? This magical thing that gets them out of a really perilous situation that they normally shouldn't have gotten out of, right? It's generally considered poor writing, right? So them kind of serving as this Deus Ex Machina moment towards the end of the movie kind of like irked me a little bit, but like not a much to like take it down a ton.
I think that's just a theme we've seen in writing for years and years and years. I think that it's almost a nod to movies of our childhood with that kind of writing, though, because like you start the movie with something that doesn't make sense, and by the end of the movie, while you're continuing to see this happen, it slowly pieces the film together. And I know I can think of a million examples, but I can't think of a single one right now from my childhood.
I'm totally wrong. It is Latin for God from the machine.
I thought so because it's a video game, but whatever.
Yeah. So you know, my favorite example of Deus Ex Machina are the Eagles from Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. Them just like kind of being trapped in that area. And then, you know, the Eagles coming in to swoop them through to the rest of the project. Frankly, I don't even know if I'm getting it right because I haven't seen Lord of the Rings in forever. Let me see if I can find another example of Deus Ex Machina in movies. You could think of... Superman rewinding time to get out of that predicament when Lois Lane dies. You could think of... disappointing Deus Ex Machina moments. Let's see what they got here. The timely arrival of the T-Rex in Jurassic Park. The Sword of Gryffindor in Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, right? There's plenty of examples of this.
There is, but that's just like I'm just a keen to that in writing, and I write it off usually. Like it doesn't ruin an experience for me. I actually get happy sometimes when I can guess it beforehand, and it brings me a little bit of joy. So I look at it a different way. Glass half full kind of thing.
Totally fine. I just thought it's like, okay, they have this like awesome, amazing power that would have made this movie like not even happen if they had revealed themselves earlier, but whatever. And once again, like that's kind of just me being nitpicky if we're doing anything. Like,
no, I get it. I'll give my complaint about the movie real quick. I do have one single complaint, actually. So there's a scene in the movie, and I don't remember. Somebody asks Buzz something, right?
Oh.
Somebody asks Buzz a question, and he goes, "Huh?" And it was his one chance to go, and that's my biggest complaint in the movie, to be honest.
I mean, my only argument would be that Disney does not own the rights to Home Improvement. That's probably trademarked.
It doesn't have to be trademarked. It's whatever, man.
Yeah, I mean, once again, we're picking at perfection here. I think we've said enough, Ryan.
Yeah, I think we've hit our limit. I think we can both agree on this. When should people see it? When should people see this movie?
Theaters. Honestly,
absolutely.
This is gonna sound bad. I'm gonna sound like the old curmudgeon who's complaining about kids acting up in a kids movie. But if you could see this movie like a couple weeks after it came out, like at a non-opportune time where you don't have to deal with like a rowdy crowd, so you could really enjoy this movie, that's what I think you should do.
I have a kid, and I went to a theater, and honestly, I didn't have any kind of rowdy crowd. We went midday. It was great, and my kid was very well behaved. I was very proud of him. So
you might have the only kid that's well behaved during a movie. Then I don't know what to tell you.
Plenty of kids in there. None of them threw it up. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I'm scary. Maybe they're scared of me.
Maybe. There was a kid crying most of my showtime, which is why I'm saying that. But yeah, I mean, see this movie. I think it's going to be one of the best of the year.
Even if you catch it when it goes to Disney in a couple weeks, just watch it.
Oh, I don't think it'll be on Disney until like September, October.
Really?
It's going to be a massive hit. My guess is it's probably going to stay in theaters most of the summer. So this isn't coming on to Disney Plus for quite a while. So if you want to see it, go see it in theaters.
Yeah.
So, what did you think of Toy Story? Are you excited for a potential Toy Story 6? Do you think that Toy Story should have stopped at Toy Story 3? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell for notifications. Do they still do that? And share the podcast with a friend. That helps us get more viewers. Maybe we could get up to triple digits one of these days. Ooh.
Slowly but surely.
I want to end this.
I want to end this on a guess for the next movie, just so we have it on.
Oh, all right.
I guarantee you, as they've said, the director of this film says that the next movie will be the end of the Bonnie trilogy. Yeah. I would like to guess that the next movie will end with Andy coming back with his own kids and Bonnie giving the toys to Andy's kids.
Okay. I think the franchise is going to take a wild step out there, and it's going to be a crossover with Sausage Party.
Wow. Wow. Introducing the new toy butt plug.
Yep.
See you guys next week.